Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we are discussing a launch from 2021 from Glashutte Original of Glashutte, Germany. This is the PanoMaticLunar. It says so right on the dial. The 2020 innovation was the combination of the rose gold case with the green dégradé dial and the 40mm size. The example in my hand was retailed in 2024. So it is 40 millimeters in diameter, 13 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 47.3 millimeters, with a 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, it wears nicely. The shape of the case and the shape of the lugs needs to be mentioned here. Normally, I would go by lug-to-lug dimension, but I do think that the shape and the way they blend down around the edge of the wrist means that this is going to wear better on wrists that are kind of borderline sized for it. So I think you could wear this watch well on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, or even just a little bit smaller than mine. It's thinner than it looks, and certainly with a sloped case flank, it will slide underneath a dress cuff. Most shirt sleeves are going to have no trouble here. Jacket cuffs, certainly none at all. This is a watch that is elegant and can be worn with formal attire, including those long sleeves. We've got a lovely bright green gloss finish, large, symmetrical, rectangular scale alligator leather with a little bit of a distressed graining to it. We've got a monotone green stitch, a folded edge, and then on the bottom you can see a wonderfully supple calfskin. And it is a Glashutte Original factory strap in outstanding condition. In fact, I think the only time it's ever been mounted on its pin was to put it in its pouch. I pulled that apart so you could see the entirety of the underside of the clasp, the strap, and the case back. But you can see it is a full deployant clasp, which is a nice feature to have. Twin trigger release, so it's not friction fit either. This is a large, heavy, and valuable watch. A clasp gives you insurance against accidentally dropping your watch, and one with a twin trigger release means you must press both sides to open it, so it cannot happen inadvertently. You can see externally we have a combination of media blast, polish, and satination. Note the blasting within the logo. Very cool. Good looking watch. The lugs are stepped out, though not as dramatically as you'd find on a Langa. This is Geo's own case shape. You can also see that the cut line where the lug joins the case is actually canted inward, which is an unusual and appreciated wrinkle. We've got a combination of polish and satin here for contrast. We even have a little bevel along the edge of the lug. Lug hoods are polished. You can see that we've got a bezel that has a vertical lip, then a conical profile, then a step before the crystal. Also, take note, this is an important styling feature here, that the lugs actually run up the side of the bezel a little bit. This is a trick watch designers use so that they can have a longer, fuller length of lug, but not create a thicker watch. So putting the bezel on top of the lug would give you a long flowing lug, but it will also give you a thicker watch. Whereas putting the bezel over the top of the lug and cutting the lug down, it would look stunted. This is a great compromise and a trick that watch designers use to good effect. We have a little pusher adjuster. It's for the moon phase. There is a quick set for the double-digit disc. Glashutte Original, the branding on the crown itself, and then the dial. A dégradé effect, or a fumé smoked gradient, is achieved using several different pigments of lacquer. Glashutte Original makes its own movements. It also makes the tools to build its movements. It also makes the dials in-house. So a very integrated manufacturer. There are some fingerprints on the dial. Not the dial itself, but the crystal over the dial. I've done my best to polish them off, so excuse those, please. There is a little bit of luminescence, not a lot, but some. And then we've got that lovely dégradé effect. A lot of print here, but it's part of the German charm. They are awfully literal, which is why this watch features a notation that it's made in Germany. It's a PanoMaticLunar. It has the oversized date, the Panorama-Datum, Mondphase up at the top, so we know we have a moon phase. They're not going to let you forget. There's an azurage concentric pattern in the registers for hours, minutes, and seconds. I don't know what the German term is for that, so I'm going to have to learn. And then we have alpha-style hands for the hours and minutes with a little applique, gold indices. And then, as promised, we do have a quick set system for the double-digit date, and always a feather in the cap of a watchmaker when the discs are flush, which they are. I love that. We have hacking seconds, so you can stop the movement and synchronize to a reference time, which is always handy. And then we have instantaneous date change. Flip it over. Ooh, that is cool. We've got the Glashutte Original caliber 90-02 automatic winding via a 3/4 rotor. It has a 4 Hz beat rate, 47 joules, a 42-hour power reserve. You can see it's adjusted to 5 positions, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. There's quite a bit of hand decoration here. We have mirror-polished duplex swan's neck adjustment with 2 freehand engraved bridge halves, so both sides of the balance bridge, which braces nicely against shock, but that full balance bridge engraved on both sides. We have fire-blued screws, but we also have polished screws. We have Streifen, sort of Germany's version of Côte de Genève, and then we have a lovely snailing on the track underneath the rotor. Now, the thing about a dual-anchored balance bridge is that it's more shock-resistant than a single-sided balance cock, but Longa seems to have decided in the modern era that those balance cocks must be freehand engraved. So Geo is going one better by giving you a more shock-resistant full balance bridge, a duplex that is double-sided swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism in polished steel, and then each side is freehand engraved, so no two are exactly alike. We even have some engine turning on the base plate. And again, 50 meters water resistant. It's not there, but that is the water resistance, more than the dress watch standard of 30, because in Germany they go above and beyond. Like I said, they're sticklers for details. We also have this lovely hand-finished solarized reduction wheel for the winding system, which is always a highlight on Glashutte Original automatic watches. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.